Hi guys, I've just come out of the house because we don't have any central heating, and we've got an old fire, like a wood burner, and my wife decided to get the person to come to service it, and because we've got wood outside, so we can put wood inside and heat the house up, because the last week it's been really cold, really cold. I've had to sleep with a hat, hot water bottle, all my clothes on, and the thermals as well. Even then, like, the sheets were like ice, and I've got three quilts on top of me as well. The one thing that does help is having a few of the dogs jump on top of the bed and keep my feet warm. I mean, I do use a hot water bottle, and there's only one, so I have to either I put it on my back, my lower back, and I sleep on my side, or and then move it down to my feet, because my feet are freezing. My nose and ears are freezing. And the extremities, fingers, toes. A friend of mine said, maybe you can have an electric blanket. I think when I sell the house. By the time I sell the house, winter's over. Yeah. So the bloke came and he serviced the how do you call it, the wood burner. So then, when I came back, my wife decided to put some sticks and a few logs. It was nice. I didn't notice it. I was sitting in the living room and they were in the kitchen. And when they came in after about half an hour, 40 minutes, they said, "What a smell." I didn't notice the smell, but I felt bloody dizzy. And I thought, yeah, maybe I'm just tired. But then I realized, to get soot off, the chimney, they have to use like some serious chemicals, some strong chemicals. So it's the smell of that chemical that's going into the air. And then I went into the kitchen, and I came back and I could smell it. Oh, a wall of like chemical went into my nose, and I thought, oh bloody, I've been breathing that. No wonder I'm dizzy, and a bit problems breathing. It was horrible. So I came out here, and I thought, open all the doors and windows, just get some air. But it's so cold, so I had to put the engine on for a while, and now I switched it off and try to keep the heat in here. It's horrible when it's really cold. Really horrible. Well, anyway, that's what I'm doing here. A bit dizzy, a bit. If I'm a bit dopey, more dopey than usual, that's why I breathed in that stuff. Yeah. So today I just wanted to talk about superpowers, not superpowers, like special kind of power, something weird. I'll talk to you about my superpower. There's a person I know, and when she closes her eyes, and she doesn't see black. She sees a depth within that black. So it's like she's in like another world. It's dark, but she can feel there's space there. It's really weird, like as if she's in a cave, but she can feel the depth, and she's seen the light, the white light in the past. And I think once she saw the gold light, where she felt really nice, like these people have near death or out of body experiences. They can come out of the third eye, they see the light, and sometimes they see the golden light, and that's like, like some say, it's like being in the presence of God, or something like love, and you don't want to leave, that kind of thing. But she said it felt nice, but not to the same extent of like it being like God. It felt really nice. Yeah, so she has that kind of special power. All she has to do is close her eyes, and she can feel the depth in the distance, and she can see, if she meditates, if she closes her eyes, she can see that a little bit of a light there. When I close my eyes, I see fuck all. All I see is black. All I see is black, like pixels or nothing. I don't see anything. And I've tried, really tried. Maybe after trying more. I'll tell you about my superpower, or my strange power. I can't see any of that. When I close my eyes, I can't see any depth. I can't see the white light. I can't come out of my body. I can't, apart from sometimes I have a kind of telepathy with my daughter or someone who's near to me. That's I think a lot of people get that, don't they? When they're close to someone, they're just about to say something, and the other person says it. You know, so there's a kind of is it synchronicity. It's very sensitive, and so some people could say that my chi or my energy field is overlapping with hers or his, and so we can get that vibe or that energy or whatever it is. Apart from that, there is one thing, my superpower. Obviously, some people know, well, the tree of life. The Kabbalist talk about the tree of life, and it's written in the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, the tree of life. And some people say that the tree of life is actually inside our own body. It depends how you interpret Genesis, or the Adam and Eve story. But I think maybe the Kabbalists would believe, or some of them would believe, that it's inside our body, or whoever. And I think I kind of believe that as well. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, you see, if you look at the nervous system, it's almost like a tree. I've seen a picture of the human nervous system, which is the brain. Or if you take the brain away and you just show the nervous system, it's like a tree. Going down your arms, branching out through the core of the body and into the legs. But if you take everything away, it just looks like a tree with branches going down, kind of like a tree. Okay, so what's my superpower? My superpower. But my strange kind of technique or whatever is, I can, and I found this out by accident. I can close my eyes and focus here in the center of my forehead, in my third eye. Oh, what happened there? Is that a sign? You know? Okay, so as I was saying, I close my eyes and focus here in my third eye. After a few seconds, if I put some emotion into it, slight emotion, and I have to do something specifically. It's kind of like a secret, the thing that I do anyway, to make this thing happen. If I do that thing, what happens is I get a flood of kind of like, it's not emotion, it's like awe. It's something hard to explain, but I can trigger something in my brain, a part of my brain that triggers this, like you can call it the tree of life. I call it the tree of life, but trigger this your nervous system, and so I can actually feel all the branches going down my arms, inside my body, down my legs, and it is specifically, you can feel the branches. I don't feel the branches here. I don't feel it in my neck, but I feel it coming down my body and something branching out all the way down my arms, all the way down my body, and specifically my legs. I don't feel it at the tips of my hands or my feet. I feel it in the center, and I can feel branching out. And this only happens when I turn inwards and think of this area here, but it's deep in the brain, like a few inches inside, and I get a flood of, like, it's like emotional, it's an awesome feeling, and it goes everywhere around my body. And I can do it at will. And sometimes my hair stands. So I can actually, I was thinking of, one day going to have, not an MRI, but what's it called? It's kind of like an MRI, and see which part of my brain I'm triggering. Because I've been able to do that for a few years. Well, for years actually. But I never wanted to push it too much because I don't know what I'm doing to my brain. So that's my superpower. It's not superpower. But I'm just wondering, you can let me know down below if you have any superpowers. Yeah, I know I'm going to get a few jokers, but I mean, do you have any weird sensations, weird things happen to you, or It's strange, I never told people this, but I get, I close my eyes, I think about my third eye, and I get a flood of a kind of emotion, and all my it's like I get goosebumps, but I feel the branching going down into my at the same time everywhere, and that's just with a not with a thought. With my eyes have to go here, and I have to focus inside in a specific area. I know where the area is because I feel it. It's kind of here, but deep inside, and that triggers something. That triggers a kind of an electric kind of feeling that goes down the body, and I can specifically feel branching. It's a branching kind of energy going out. That's the specific feeling. It's a branching all over my body. What do I do with that? I don't know. Yeah, it could be something healthy, like they talk about the tree of life. Maybe we've got cranial nerves that come out of the brain. The well-known one is the vagus nerve that comes out of the neck. I think the ears, and it innervates the digestive system. That's why a lot of people talk about not triggering, but doing exercises to stimulate the vagus nerve. This nerve, I don't know what this nerve is. If it comes from the center of the forehead, goes maybe through maybe the center of the neck, and it affects the nervous system. I think maybe if you can trigger all 12 cranial nerves at the same time, yeah, that would be that would be something. I only know about a few of them. I'm not sure which one I'm triggering, but it must be one of the cranial nerves or some kind of meridian. I had a few weird kind of sensations in the past when I was practicing Qigong. Qigong is kind of standard meditation or moving meditation like Tai Chi, just very, very, very soft. There's various forms of Qigong. Whilst doing these exercises, you make yourself really, really relaxed. You can do things, as they say nowadays, mindfully, or in a meditative state. What happened to me when I was trying this, when I was in my 30s, let's say, and I tried this, there were periods where I did dabble for a few weeks, a few months, and then I stopped, because I've always been scared of doing harm to my brain or whatever, or dabbling in something that I didn't really understand. I could only feel but didn't understand. So I used to do Tai Chi, or sometimes Tai Chi, but most of the time just some very basic Qigong. It's just a meditation exercise, an energy exercise. Qi means energy. Gong is skill. Afterwards, when I would go afterwards or a few hours later, and I still had that vibe, that relaxed vibe inside me, I would go for a pee, and all the soles of my feet would burn really hot. I thought, what the hell is that? And I get that when I do these meditation exercises. The soles of my feet become really warm when I pee. So obviously when you pee, you must be stimulating the kidney. Maybe there's a meridian that goes down to what they call the bubbling springs, the soles of the feet. Yeah, so that's a strange experience. When I do Qigong, or sometimes when maybe if I do it heavily or deeply, I tend to, when I go to do a pee, like my feet just feel so hot. So that's another weird one, a strange one. So I was wondering if you guys have had strange experiences whilst you were doing some Tai Chi or Qigong or meditation or any kind of exercise, or maybe just lying around relaxing and saw a ghost or something. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say today. Just bring that up. It's not the usual video, but it's just maybe something interesting. It's something that might interest one of you guys. Yeah, I'd like to get back into meditating. Some guys, well, one lady, but a few guys have said I should. No, has anybody actually said I should meditate? Nope. They've said a few of you guys have said to pray to Jesus, read the Bible, read the Quran. And I think, yeah, those are good ideas. I was just wondering, what is meditation? For me, what it is to obviously be still and be quiet and maybe listen to my thoughts and be aware of whatever. Be aware of awareness itself. I don't know. It depends which meditation you do. But for example, sitting down here and looking into the darkness, eventually it won't be darkness. You'll see the silhouette of a tree. Lots of thoughts come up in your mind. It's an exercise, an impossible exercise, doing something that's impossible. So you're either trying to do, you see nowadays they call it, what do they call it? Mindfulness. But in the past, growing up, I just thought meditation is one of two things, one or zero. You do one thing or you do zero. So one thing is one, I think it's called one pointedness or one point in, where you just look at a candle or you just breathe. So you count your out breaths or in breaths for, I don't know, 4 or 10 times, and then you can go back to the beginning. That exercise is to keep you in the moment, to keep you in the presence, in the present moment. And so thoughts will come along because we're constantly thinking. The mind, it needs to think, it needs to worry, it needs to think about cool things, bad things. It's what in the East they call the monkey mind, or at least I think it's the Chan Buddhists or Zen Buddhists. And so the monkey mind doesn't want to stay still. So the exercise of staying still is almost impossible. And so you pluck yourself away from thought. Thoughts come and go, and you pluck yourself away and back to the moment. So that's what you're doing. You constantly, it's an exercise of awareness of the present moment. And so that's what I think meditation is in its various forms. There's the one, but then there's the zero. The zero is emptiness. And that's, I think, is more difficult because you don't concentrate on one thing. And that might be meditation proper, because looking at a candle, you're focusing on a candle. You're concentrating on a candle. It's more of a concentration exercise and bringing yourself back to the present moment. As thoughts, emotions try and pull you away into a fantasy, pull yourself back. And that's the exercise, pulling yourself back into the moment. And what happens is, then this it's like a muscle. You train this muscle, and then it spills over. This power, or whatever was it called, this ability is transferred into everyday life. It spills over into everyday life. So you could be washing the dishes. You wash the dishes and you're just washing the dishes, but then you start thinking of oh, I have to have a bath later on, or that person said something bad about me, and you catch yourself floating away and not doing the thing you're supposed to be doing, not doing it 100%, not being the word mindful. I hate using that word, but it's just a cool modern word. But you catch yourself not being aware 100% of what you're doing. But the emptiness meditation, that's a bit more difficult, because you can't think of nothing, because you're thinking of nothing. You're actually doing something. You have to non-think. There isn't an anchor that your mind can settle on, like the breath, the looking at the candle, movement. There's no anchor. There's just complete blackness or complete emptiness, and that's more difficult. That's like oblivion. It's just like eternal blackness. That one's an interesting one. And that's the one where I had that experience in the Wudang Mountain, where at night I fell asleep. I had an explosion of light. I fell asleep, and from blackness, wherever I was in my dream or in my sleep, there was a brilliant light. It was just so bright, so white, whiter than anything I ever seen in my brain, from blackness to white. And I sat up in bed sweating and thinking I had like a brain hemorrhage, or thinking I was just waiting to maybe die. And I didn't. And after about 10 or 15 minutes just sitting there like this, sweating, I felt tired and I fell asleep again. That was after I did that meditation, the emptiness meditation. And I didn't do that since. I was too scared. Because one of two things could have happened. There could be like a neurological, I put stress in my brain. And, that was too much for me. Or it could be a spiritual thing, God, or I don't know, my higher self or whatever, I don't know. So that made me afraid, I didn't want to explode my brain, do something to my brain. Didn't want to go somewhere where I wasn't ready for. I think I'm going to get back into meditation, because I was interested in meditation when I was 19. And I used to do a meditation, like an old Christian meditation, where you pray, you put your hands together and you just stay in the moment. It's an exercise of staying in the moment. And you think about here, the third eye. Yeah, there's various forms of meditation. Your whole life can become a meditation, because meditation, as I said, spills over into everyday life. So maybe eventually you don't have to meditate anymore because your life is that maybe meditation. I don't know. There's a few things I'd love to do, but maybe I can talk about them in the future videos. Yeah, so a bit weird this video, but you know, it's me. This is what things that I like to talk about, even though I don't know much about anything. I suppose you don't have to know much about anything. It's okay to have an opinion without knowing much. That's my video today. Hopefully this beard will grow and catch up to this tash. I look like, I don't know. It looks strange. Okay. All right, guys. Have a nice evening, morning, whenever this video catches you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
You are so heartless, and you don't care.